He's helped provide for after-school and summer athletic programs for our children. Thank you, Arnold. He's also founded the USC Schwarzenegger Institute for State and Global Policy for USC. Thank you. And as many of you guys know, he served as the 38th governor of the state of California, and he was my governor for all that time. Thank you. Please join me in welcoming Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, thank you very much for this wonderful introduction. It's exactly the way I wrote it. But anyway, I just had, first of all, good morning and happy 4th of July. I just had the great pleasure of laying a wreath at George Washington's tomb. And I have to tell you something that I was really touched by this whole idea. Because when I came to this country 57 years ago, not in my wildest dreams, and I had wild dreams about becoming a most muscular man in the world, becoming a movie star, making a lot of money, becoming rich and famous and all that kind of stuff. But not exactly. That's why I said most muscular man. You got to learn how to listen. Remember, God gave you 2 ears and only 1 mouth. But in any case, what I'm saying is, I was saying to myself, 57 years ago when I came to this country, not in my wildest dreams did I think about that one day this immigrant will be asked to lay a wreath at George Washington's tomb and to be asked to give the keynote speech at this spectacular event here today. So I feel absolutely delighted to be here. So thank you. Thank you. And of course, after being here at Mount Vernon, I've decided that in my next movie I'm going to play George Washington. And Danny DeVito will play Jefferson. Oh no, maybe actually I have a better idea. Maybe Mrs. Washington. How about that, huh? Wouldn't that be cool? Actually, talking about making movies, I just finished a movie called The Man with the Bag. It's a Christmas movie where I play Santa Claus. And Santa Claus is, of course, all about giving. But today, however, you've given me a great gift. And that gift is to be part of this very meaningful ceremony. And I was told that there are thousands of spectators out there. And I have to say, you're a really good-looking crowd. Man, look at them all, smiling and everything. Well, I'm very excited that you're all here, and I want to thank you all for coming. Big, big hand to all of you. But actually, I came to talk to these 100 people that are sitting right here in front. To these 100 people that have just become American citizens. To these new Americans, I say thank you for sharing this wonderful day with me. And also your journey, which we also share since I'm an immigrant too. If a U.S. ambassador or historian were here in my place this morning, he or she would probably start out with some relevant quote by Washington, right? It will be about democracy and citizenship and probably make reference to the tensions in our country. But I want to start differently, with a story. Dr. Bradburn can vouch that this is true. Washington and John Marshall, who later became Chief Justice, were once riding on horseback to visit some friends. And on the way, Marshall ripped his pants, but he had no choice but to keep going on. The rip must have been in a strategic area, if you know what I mean. Because when they arrived, the only thing that Marshall could think of doing was to hold a handkerchief in front of him like a bullfighter. have to demonstrate this. It was like this. Well, on seeing this, Washington laughed so hard that it is said that it took a time for him to recover. Now today, we call upon the joyous, happy Washington, because this is a very joyous, happy day. We're here to celebrate you that were just sworn in. We're here to recognize what you have overcome, what you have achieved, to recognize the responsibilities that are still in front of you. I remember how happy I was when I became an American citizen. I tell you, it felt so great. It was September 17th, 1983. I was all dressed up, just like today, with the blue blazer, white shirt, and red tie, and I raised my right hand, stood straight, and I proudly said the oath. And after that, I celebrated. I celebrated at lunchtime, I celebrated at dinner time, I celebrated all night, and I had the American flag draped around my shoulders. I couldn't believe it. I kept saying to myself, Arnold, you have a new home. And I did. And so do you. And so do you. I have no doubt that similar lunches and dinners and parties will take place here today, because there's so much to celebrate. You have endured the stress of filling out the forms and the paperwork. You've waited and you've worried. You've wondered, what is taking so long? Right? Did the paperwork get lost? Did it get lost in the mail? Did it go through? What is happening here? I know those feelings. I know the relief that you must feel today. Some of you have escaped from very harsh circumstances in your previous life. I've always loved what Harriet Tubman said about escaping from slavery into freedom. She said, when I found that I had crossed that line, I looked at my hands to see if I was the same person. There was such a glory over everything. The sun came like gold through trees and over the fields, and I felt like I was in heaven. Today, at least for a few hours, I hope that you feel a glory over everything. I hope that you feel that glory over everything. Now I know that each of you has your own reason for wanting to be an American citizen. Some of you came to America to escape fear of persecution and political oppression. That gnawing fear that tells you not to look at the soldier in the eye. Others of you came to America because of economic desperation in your home country. That gnawing in your stomach that comes from unrelenting poverty or famine. Or maybe what drew you here was the longing to be reunited with your family. That gnawing in your heart for the people that you love, that you miss, and that you want to care for and protect. But whatever motivated you to make your way here to say, I want to be a citizen of the United States, let me explain what it tells me about you. Because of all the roles that I have played in my movies, I know something about action heroes. Right? You don't need a cartridge belt across your chest or bazooka against your shoulder to be an action hero.
Hello.
And you don't need the stunts and the special effects
She needs to see.
and the Hollywood magic to be an action hero. No. Immigrants are action heroes. To tell you why I say that, because it took action to get here. Laziness did not get you here. Apathy did not get you here. A belief in the status quo did not get you here. No, action is what got you here. You wanted something more. So you went after it. You worked hard, you struggled, and you persevered. I know what you say to yourself, because this is what I said to myself. If only I can get to America. If only I can prove what I can do. If only I can be the person that I know I can be. Right? Today, all of your action over the years were rewarded. No longer are you hanging on the cliff by one hand. You have pulled yourself up. Yes, you have pulled yourself up. And the day your feet are firmly planted in America. Isn't it wonderful? So, what now? What now? In return for all that America is doing for you, in giving you your freedom, peace, and opportunity, I ask you to think about, what would you do for America? What would you do for America? When you took that oath, you were not putting your hand out for what you could get. No, you put your hand up in a promise of what you would do for America. When you took that oath and received America's many blessings, I hope that you also accepted the responsibility to give something back. Giving back does not just mean to give money. It means giving of yourself to something beyond yourself. I remember that I first arrived in America a week before Thanksgiving. And a guy in the gym reached out to me and he said, "You're here by yourself. You're a foreigner. I barely can understand you." I can't blame him for that. He said, "Why don't you spend Thanksgiving with us, with my family?" His name was Bill Drake. And I met his father and his mother, and it was the most wonderful turkey dinner with all its trimmings. And as if that was not enough generosity, that same weekend after that fantastic meal, there was a knock on my door of my empty apartment across the street from the gym. I opened it, and a parade of bodybuilders walked in, all pumped up, one after the other, carrying things in their hands. One was carrying bed sheets, the other one pillowcases, the other one utensils. One was even carrying in a black and white TV. I tell you, so impressed. It was a parade of generosity, turning my bare immigrant apartment into a home. That is a generosity that I will never forget. I will never forget that. That kindness left a lasting impression on me. And for the last 30 years now, I have been buying and handing out turkeys at the youth center in East Los Angeles. And I tell you something, that handing out those thousands of turkeys year after year is 100 times more rewarding than standing at the red carpet of a movie premiere. I've tried to be a good citizen and to give back. That's why I got involved in Special Olympics and became the national and international strength coach for the Special Olympians worldwide, to promote Special Olympics worldwide. That's why I was so honored also to be asked by President Bush to be the chairman of the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports, and travel through all 50 states and go into public schools and to promote exercising and fitness amongst the youngsters, and to tell them no to drugs, no to gang, and no to violence. I helped our veterans getting homes, helped the homeless. I'm involved in combating climate change and promoting healthy living, advocating civil responsibility. I started after-school programs, and the list goes on and on and on. Now, one thing I have to tell you, you don't have to run for governor as I did. Start by running to the grocery store for a homebound neighbor. or run the bake sale table at a PTA meeting. So the question is, what will you become involved in? I guarantee you that it will begin to change your life. Now here's another thing that I've learned. You do not have to give up who you are in order to succeed as an American. When I wanted to get into the movies, I remember an agent and the studio executives would say to me, he says, Arnold, that accent, that ridiculous accent. No one has ever become a movie star or a leading man with an accent like that. And then your name, Schwarzenschnitzel or whatever, it wouldn't even fit on a movie poster or on a billboard. Why don't you forget the movies altogether? Why don't you open up a health food store or a gymnasium? I was convinced that I could do it. I was in the land of opportunities. I knew that if I worked my butt off, that I could do it. I could make my vision become a reality. So I took acting classes, English classes, speech classes, dialogue classes. I even took accent removal classes. I walked around the whole day saying, a fine wine grows on a vine. And 3,333 and 1/3. Because those are all the things that German-speaking people have difficulty pronouncing. So I worked on it, and this is why today I have absolutely no accent at all. You're laughing, but I mean, it's not funny. I'm still looking for that coach to get my money back. But anyway, the bottom line is that an accent is nothing to be ashamed of. It is a memory of your past. It is telling a story. It tells a story, and it's part of what makes your voice distinct. America needs your story. What I'm saying is that to be an American, you do not have to fit into a box. Trust who you are. Trust your vision of your future. And trust your vision of yourself. That is what is important. Now, some will say, Arnold, you are a little bit out of touch here with what is going on in this country. Your outlook is too rosy. Yes, I'm an optimist. I admit it. But I know what's going on. I know about the division that separates us. It is true what we see in everything that we see in the news. Things might look confusing, and yes, there is heartache. But let me tell you something. No matter how difficult of a time we go through sometimes in America, we always pull out of it. We always pull out of it. And I tell you why I'm saying that, because when I came to America, I remember the confusion and the heartache when I arrived in this country in 1986. Imagine now, the year that I came, Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy were assassinated. Think about that. There were riots in the streets outside the Democratic Convention in Chicago. There were protests about the Vietnam War all over this country. It was craziness. The Vietnam War was tearing this country apart. C-141 cargo planes holding 35 to 40 flag-draped caskets per flight were coming from Southeast Asia. Imagine how many flights, how many flags that it took for 58,000 American soldiers to be returned back home. Think about that. And we pulled out of that difficult time. And we came back bigger and stronger than ever. So that's why I'm an optimist. We're going to always come back, and we're always going to move forward. That is the important thing. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I read that some Americans are actually so discouraged today that they want to move to another country. They don't know what you and I know, right? I mean, you and I spent years working to become citizens. We are not people who give up easily, no, right? America needs your strong immigrant spirit right now. There was recently a number of environmentalists who have told me that they were losing hope about climate change and fossil fuels and the reduction in pollution and all this stuff because of various US policies and reversals. You know what I say to this kind of defeatist attitude? Stop whining and get to work. The thing that I know about immigrants is that you are not whiners. Because whining doesn't get you the green card or the citizenship. Whining doesn't put food on your table or pay the rent. Whining is weakness. Whining is weakness. There is a reason that you're here. You are the people that America needs right now. America needs you with your accent, with your memories of your homeland, the hope and dreams that you have, and your love and freedom for family. You do not just deserve to be in America, you are needed here. You are needed here. Let me close with this thought. Ronald Reagan once received a letter from a man who wrote that you can go to live in France, but you can't become a Frenchman. You can go to Germany or to Italy, but you can't become a German or Italian. The man said the same thing about Turkey and Japan and many other countries. But he said that anyone from any corner in the world can come to live in the United States and become an American. You are from many different places from all over the world, and the day together, you become one. You became an American. Yes, the day you became an American, and I congratulate you. I am so happy that you're here. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you that you took this road to America together with me. And on behalf of all the citizens of this country, I congratulate you on becoming an American, and I welcome you to this land of opportunity, to the greatest country in the world. God bless all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Our